Take the bait. 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 It's game day. It's not no regular Wednesday.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Take the Bait. This is episode number 36. We're rolling right along. We have an awesome slate of topics here for you. For those of you who are new to us, we are a talk show that talk about topics past and present that many of us talk about in our group circles, but now we have the platform to do so. For those of you who are regulars, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for all your support thus far. We're going to continue to make you happy with today's show. I can guarantee you that. How you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing great, Marcus. Ready to kick it off here today. We got a lot of hot topics to discuss.
Let's dive right in, man. Hottest topic right now happened last night, the NBA draft.
Yeah.
What do you got on the NBA draft? You know, from top to bottom, thoughts, winners, losers. Let's talk about it.
Sure. So I'll preface our discussion today about the NBA draft with a quote from Jay Billis. It's the best and deepest draft of big-time talent that I can recall. Number one, that's a big statement. But number two, I agree with him. You know, based off strictly we'll just talk about the first round today. And I agree with Jay. So let's dive right in, Marcus. But that was a big and bold statement. Yeah. But I agree.
But there's some big time. I mean, I thought that there were three legitimate guys that could have went number one. Legit, right? And Caleb Wilson isn't too far off either. But let's go ahead and, you know, let's cover the lottery. We don't have time to cover the whole thing.
Sure.
Everybody has done. Everybody's talking about it. But let's get Ben Schroeder's grades for each pick, and I'll let you know if I agree or disagree. Number one, AJ DeBanza. What do you give the Wizards for that?
I give them an A. Not an A plus, but an A, simply because of the depth. You know, you could have gone with maybe two, possibly a three player. So I give them an A.
I agree with that. He's been the number one player in this class for 6 years. So yeah, I agree with that. Number two, Darren Peterson with the Jazz. What do you got?
That one's tough, but I'm going with a B, and I'll tell you why. Because yes, he's clutch. Yes, he's talented. Yes, his ceiling is high. But I just think that Cam Boozer would be better, number one. And number two, I think Peterson did not play, let alone step up, did not play in some big games. So I'm not sure if I'm a GM or a coach, I can trust him. So I gave him a B.
Talent is through the roof. You're right. He wasn't able to stay healthy consistently. We didn't know why he was missing games. It was very mysterious with that. So if he can be healthy for the remainder of his career, I think this turns into an AA plus because he's that talented. But I think for now, I think you're right on that. Third pick of the draft with the Grizzlies, Cameron Boozer. What do you got?
A, without question.
I agree. I thought he had legitimate right to be in there for the number one pick. Number four, your guy with the Bulls, Caleb Wilson.
I mean, although we got hurt, missed the last third of the season, I'm going with an A with Caleb. His potential's so high, I give him an A.
You're right. When he was healthy, he was one of the best players in America, for sure. And he's going to come back from the injury that he had pretty easily, I believe. At five, we got Keaton Wagler. What do you give that pick?
I give him an A minus because I still think a player going to say here in a couple picks is better, but I still think Wagler, he's nasty. I'm giving him an A minus.
Yeah, I love Keaton Wagler. I love what he's done. I think just realistically, if, for someone who 18 months ago wasn't even ranked, that means one of two things. The guys doing the rankings are not doing their job well, and that is happening out there. Guys are getting bribed. Guys are just putting guys in the rankings because they're ranking their friends and stuff. Or, I mean, he hasn't had the level of consistency of high level dominance like AJ and Cameron Boozer's been winning since he was a freshman in high school, right? Yeah. So to spend that high of a pick on someone who just started playing well like 12 months ago, I think it's risky, but I like him. But so I like your grade. At six, Mikal Brown.
So a big portion of how I graded this was, is there a player similar to them better that you could have picked? And in my opinion, there clearly is. They still went with Brown, so I'm giving them a D. And the
Whew.
only reason is because there's a player next, actually, technically the next two, that I think are better than Brown. And I don't know really why the Nets didn't go with them, but I give them a D. Maybe that's a little harsh, but I'm going with a D because of the next pick.
He's super talented. He has positional size. He has struggled with injuries throughout his career, but the talent, I remember watching him play when he was with, I want to say he was with, who was he with? He was playing Indiana Elite. I think he was with Austin Rivers, and he was 15 playing up 17U, and they were denying him the ball full court because he was cooking 17-year-olds when he was 15. He's been elite for a very long time now. He's grown, he got some athleticism. If he can stay healthy, I think he'll prove your pick wrong. But I know what you're saying. A lot of people thought that this next guy who was drafted pick number 7, Darius Acuff. What do you got for that pick?
I only ranked 2 A pluses. This is 1. I just think when Acuff falls to 7, I had him 5 on my projections. I just think that's an A plus. If you get him at 7, no matter who you are, A plus. That kid can play some ball, and I go A plus.
Yeah, I think during the year, didn't you show me some stat that he was like the first freshman to lead the SEC in scoring and assists since like Pete Maravich or something like that?
He is. He's a first player, not just freshman player, since Maravich to
Yeah,
lead the SEC in scoring and assists.
that's high level. So I can
Yeah.
understand why you say that. Next pick with the Hawks, Kingston Flemings. What do you got?
I got A minus. I like Flemings. I watched a lot of Flemings this year, and I think it's a solid pick. I'm going A minus.
I love Kingston Flemings. I think what my concern with him is, and I was talking with somebody about this last night as we were watching it. One of his top 2 skills is the fact how hard he plays. But I worry about the rest of his skill set and his size. I think they measured him in at 6'1". He's athletic, not like dumb athletic. Now, I'm saying he could improve it, but I want to see. I like him, so I'm just gonna ride with it. I like him. I love his game. I love how hard he plays. I just want to see him continue develop the jump shot in other areas of his game. At 9, the Mavericks, Morez Johnson.
My only F on the list, Marcus, and no offense to Morez Johnson Jr., they won the national championship. He was a solid piece of the nucleus. But look, this is clearly only because Dusty May wanted one of his guys. And if that's the case, why did he not go with Mara? I just don't understand it. I'm giving it an F. I don't. He wasn't even the top 3 players on Michigan, so I don't even know where that even is.
I was so surprised by that. I turned my head and I came back and I saw Morez Johnson at 9. Now, Morez Johnson's a really good player.
Yeah,
Let's not forget Big Ten all defensive team. The 3, 4, 5 was Morez Johnson, Yaxel, Mara. So he's really good. You're right, though. I think if Dusty May is going to pick one of his own, but he coached them all for a year and still
he
made that
did.
his first pick. So he must know something we don't know. Maybe he thought Mara was soft. Maybe he kind of got sick of some of the like stuff that Yaxel, I heard he isn't like, no offense, but the rumor like he's not the great IQ guy like Dusty May is, and maybe Morez was just one of his favorites. I don't know, but I don't know if I would give it an F. I will say I was very surprised, and he better play well soon because the Mavericks have not been making very good decisions, whether it's from trading Luca to bringing in AD to they haven't been making good decisions. Now they just come in and Masai fires everybody. Like, they better get this one right. At 10, the Bucks, Braden Burris.
I got it right around a B minus, B minus. I mean, I no
Yeah,
problem with it. I don't think it's a top one, but
yeah,
B minus. Yeah,
pedestrian. Yep, I hear
yeah.
you. At number 11, Golden State Warriors picking up Yaxel. What do you think?
I think it's an A, and I'll tell you why. He was Big Ten Player of the Year, led him to the title. Even with a banged up injury, he still came in and did well. I was very impressed with him in college. I think there's upside there. He fits in well with the Warriors. I gave it an A.
I love his game. I think he's going to be just as good in the pros. Not just as good in terms of like being an all-star like he was in college, but he has positional size to guard multiple positions. He can play multiple positions on offense. He's going to help you defensively, rebounding. Just think he brings a lot to the table, and I love the pick.
Yeah.
At 12, his another Michigan Wolverine. They went 9, 11, 12. There's a reason they won the national championship. At
Yeah.
12, Ade Mara. What do you got with them?
I
What do you got
mean,
for them?
Mora is huge, 7'3", whatever he is. I gave it a B plus. I mean, I think the next player they could have gone with, who we'll get into next. So that's why I didn't give it an A. but it's still a solid B plus.
They said Mora was shooting the mess out of the ball, like at his workouts. Like they had no idea he could make threes at the rate that he was. I think he went like 17 for 25 from three. And if you're 7-3 and can do that, I think that might be a good fit if he can shoot as well as he did in his workouts. At 13, with the Heat, we got Nate Mint. What do you think about that?
Traded to the Bucks. I gave it an A plus. I had Nate Mint originally number 11 on my projections, just like on A Cup falling to 7, he fell to 13. I think it's an A plus. My other A plus of the lottery picks. The kid's now 6'10". You called this weeks ago, Marcus. They originally put him at 6'6", 6'7". Now he's 6'10" and a half. He could even be 7 foot by the time the season starts.
Yeah.
I give it A plus. I'm
He needs
impressed.
to get stronger, but talent, height, length, all the things you can't really teach, he has it. He just has to get stronger. But I think that could be a really good pick falling that late in the draft. You're right. His talent is higher than that. And last one that we'll cover for today in the lottery, Hans Steinbach. What'd you think about that one?
I toyed between B minus, C plus. At the end of the day, I gave it a C plus. I'll tell you why. He is a really good player, led the nation in rebounds. I saw him play in person against Indiana, and I wasn't that impressed. He came across as kind of lackadaisical and lazy. I didn't think he impressed me at all. And Indiana didn't even have any post players. So I gave it a C plus because I personally saw him. He's one of the few players on here I personally saw, and I was not impressed. So I gave it a C plus at the end of the day. One could argue a B minus.
I agree. I can't dispute anything you said. Moving on, but still in the NBA. What's going on with Giannis? We finally know where he's landed after all of the speculation of going here, going there. I guess I'll start with this. I just don't like the fit. And Giannis could have went anywhere he wanted to go. He could have bullied himself to, and like, hey, I'm not going here. I'm not going there. I'm getting traded. They were going to have to do what he wanted. And I think it's pretty obvious he fit in better with the Celtics with their lineup. Now you got two non-shooters for the most part. He's not a three-point shooter. Bam isn't a high-level three-point shooter. He will shoot them, but he can't shoot them at a high level. Davion Mitchell is a defender and not a shooter. Now, defensively, they could be elite, and now they have no bench. I mean, I saw this graphic right here, what their bench looked like, and this is a bunch of nobodies, right? And so I don't know about the fit, but listen, they're going to sell tickets. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more. The rumor is they might pick up Klay Thompson. They might pick up LeBron. They got Portis already in the trade. I agree with you, though. The NBA's turned into a guard-heavy league, and I don't see them having guard perimeter players to, backcourt to play with. So, yeah, him and Bam are great, but until they get some guard play, I'm not sure Klay Thompson will be the answer on that. That's subject for another time. But they've got to get some guards here. I don't see them going for, you know what I mean? And now I'll say this though, Marcus, Pat Riley wins. Let's face it. He wins. He traded for Shaq. He traded for LeBron. Now he's traded for Giannis. He wants another title before he retires. So watch him make some moves for some guards. But as of right now, I don't see them making a run.
They're going to have to go out and get a bunch of guys like the Spurs, like with Vassell and Champagne and guys like that. Guys who don't have huge names, who are shooters, who are tough, and they're probably not going to be guys that are trying to break you down with 10 or 12 dribbles. But if he can fill that roster in with solid, high IQ shooters who can defend, that's the only way I see this working. And you're right. If there's somebody who can do it, Pat Riley is the guy.
Yeah.
You mentioned LeBron. First of all, if LeBron ends up back at Miami and he tries to join this super team, I'm going to be disgusted with this dude. I mean, he needs to finish his career in Cleveland. LeBron, if somehow this message gets to you, man, don't go back to Miami. Don't do that. It's going to kill your legacy, man. And then, we'll talk about your legacy, which you talk about often, which takes us to our next topic with LeBron. He recently had a statement that I would love for you to talk about because, you and Bron have this little bromance. What did Bron say recently?
Early last week, he came out and said, I'm not taking nobody over me. There's no question, referring to the GOAT argument. Now, it was just 2-3 weeks ago. He was a little bit more modest than normal, talking about him or Jordan and da-da-da-da. Now he comes out and says this again. I'm not taking nobody over me. There's no question. So LeBron, man, just be quiet and play basketball. I don't understand. You've accomplished so much. You're still playing. Nobody disputes your longevity. Just come on, enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Half of me says, you know what, that's still the competitor in him. Like that, even me right now, you tell me, Ben, who do you think? Do you think so and so can beat you in a shooting contest? I'm gonna be like, I ain't taking nobody over me. That's just the competitor in athletes. That's
Sure.
half of it. But at the same time, I'm Marcus Wilson, so I kind of got to speak up for myself. LeBron
Right.
James has followers as passionate about him as Beyonce's Beehive. Like you say something bad about LeBron on this. Watch the comments. Watch how
Right.
watch how the people come in here and kill Ben for even talking about this. Like, I mean, he has the people that lift him up. He's the all-time leading scorer. Why do you need to continue to talk about yourself so much when all you have to do is be humble and people would put even more praises on you? It's like he
Right.
hasn't figured that one out yet. At age
Oh,
40, I mean, he's balding and still hasn't figured out that sometimes when you're modest, people will advocate for you more. I don't get it, but hey, listen. And I still would take MJ over him. Let's just be clear.
yes. Yes.
Leaving the NBA, actually, not leaving the NBA.
Uh,
We're talking about somebody who did leave college for the NBA. Dusty May recently announced that he was leaving Michigan. Um, my take on that one, Ben, and I'll be quick, is he's elite. All right. He took Florida Atlantic, for God's sake, to the Final Four. He's elite. He gets to Michigan, year two, national championship. I think there's two things I want to talk about. There's a rumor out there that he left similarly how John Harbaugh left, that there were NCAA was starting an investigation about transfer portal violations, and he knew that that might be coming, so he left. Now, I'm not saying that's true. That's just the word I'm hearing out on the streets and on social media. Could be true, could be not. What I do know is true is this. It just solidifies to me that we need to quit talking about how these players transfer
yep.
because he just won a national championship. He has a whole recruitment class that committed to him that are
Yep.
there right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know, but like D1 schools in June, the guys get together, they go to summer school and they have practice June and July. These guys started practice June 1st. And in the middle of the offseason, literally, he probably was leading practice earlier this week. I'm out. But we want to get mad at kids for leaving for another opportunity they think is better. Every time a coach does this, especially at this time, like the timing that really screws kids, I just don't like it. That's all I got to say about it. But I wish him luck.
Well,
He's a good
yeah,
guy. I wish him luck, but I
he
don't like the
is, and
style.
he was at Indiana University when I was there. I kind of knew him a little bit, and even back then, he was a statistician and manager for Bob Knight and everything. But I'll say this about what you just said. In the small little defense of that, remember they do have a 15-day window now that he left if they want to go back to the portal again. Now, the problem with that, as we've talked about this off the air, Marcus, is everybody else has already filled their roster for the
They
most
fill
part,
the
other than maybe
scholarships.
Kentucky.
Where are
Yeah,
you gonna
Kentucky's
go?
about the only
Mark
one that
Pope is
has.
about to be the winner of this because
Right,
he's been recruiting so poorly. He has a bunch of scholarships left. No one else
right,
has scholarships left. So like these
right.
kids are stuck.
I'll throw this graphic up, actually, two of them. This first one, it shows only one other coach ever in college basketball history has won the national championship and immediately gone to the NBA. Now, some have gone far and then left, but not one at all and left. And that was 1988 Kansas, Larry Brown, who left for the Spurs. So only the second time ever. And the other one is this one. These are the 10 coaches in the last 30 years that have left college to go to NBA, and only two, Marcus, had winning records in NBA, 2 out of 10. So the odds are against May, especially he's not off to a great start drafting Morez Johnson Jr. at number 9 either. But anyway, we already talked about that. So I'll say this. I wish him the best, but he's a great coach. At least he was in college. But his odds are definitely against him succeeding in the NBA coming from college. That's
Yeah,
almost
and it's tough. It's tough going both ways. Guys from the pros, they struggle when they come to college because they're just, and as a pro, you're not telling these guys what to do. They can get you fired. Star players can get you fired. You're kind of just putting a system around and allowing them to be pros. Whereas
yeah,
college, you're more X and O in it and whatever. And I think if you think back to when they decided to put Coach K in charge of the Dream Team, it was like, is he going to be able to manage all these big personalities? Coach K
right.
had already won multiple national championships and was considered one of the greatest coaches ever by then. And
Yeah.
he was able to pull it off. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I wish him luck. We'll see. Moving on to the next topic, maybe should have been number one. I mean, we're in America. If we're in any other country in the world, this is definitely number one. Football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, the World Cup is here, and it is awesome, man. Like
It's
I have
awesome.
video, and I'm show the video right now of when I was at a bar in Fort Lauderdale. And the support that America is getting, the USA team specifically is getting, how packed the fans are. I mean, I was just talking with John, and he said he was looking at tickets for Portugal, Colombia. Cheapest ticket, $5,000, nosebleed.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's unreal the outpouring of support right now. And USA, man, you can't tell, I'm super excited about it. When we won 4-1, I thought, okay, maybe we're just hyped. We came out on our, we came out hyped. Are we gonna be able to sustain it? Then we come back 2-0, advance to the round of 32. We're gonna get the third place team from another bracket. So we should make the round of 16 fairly easily. We win one more game there. Remember when we started this, I said if the USA can make it to the Elite Eight, it is going to do wonders for soccer in the US and our respect across the world. I think we can do it. And to be honest, we get the right draws. I think we can even go further than that. But I think that's awesome. I'm gonna let you touch on some other things, but obviously, when
Sure.
Messi had his hat trick, I knew that Ronaldo was gonna come back and have a game with at least two scores. Mbappe is
Woo.
looking incredible. I mean, the names
Unbelievable.
of Vinicius Jr., all these dudes, Dembele. Like, if you don't know, you should watch some of these guys. At least the main teams. I'm not asking you to go watch Congo versus Uzbekistan. I'm not asking you to do that.
Right.
But Argentina,
Right.
Portugal, France, Spain, USA. Guys, you need to go watch it. Get out your comfort zone and go watch it because some really exciting stuff. I hand it over to
It
you.
really is, Marcus. And USA plays 9 p.m.
Yep.
9 p.m. So check it out. They play Turkey. In the meantime, a couple players you said, we'll throw up some graphics. So Lionel Messi, this is actually an old graphic because he scored again after this, but he broke the record. Right now, he holds the record. This graphic shows him scored his 17th goal, the most ever by a player in World Cup history, and now he's at 18 because he scored another one after this. But he has 18 goals, all-time record. What really stood out to me, though, Marcus, is Mbappe has 16 now, and he's played far fewer games than Messi. So watch Mbappe catching him this World Cup, possibly,
Yeah.
to be the all-time leader. So that is amazing in itself right there. And then the last one I want to throw out, and you mentioned him too, was Ronaldo, man. Now that he's scored in this World Cup, he has scored at least one goal in 6 World Cups, the most of
Do
any
the math,
player, counting
everybody.
even Pele.
That's 24.
That's crazy.
That's
That's
24.
24.
Do the math.
More
Like,
than even Pele. Even the great Pele didn't do that, which is anytime you beat Pele in anything, that's amazing. So 6 World Cups, he scored at least one goal. That's
to
amazing.
be elite
So
for 24 years is
Yeah.
it goes to show his greatness. Like you said, man, and Mbappe is doing things that if he can stay healthy, I mean, if
Yeah.
he can stay healthy, when I tell you he's going to crush this World Cup goals thing, I mean, it's going to be so hard to catch this dude. Like, I mean, it's some great
totally.
names out there. Listen, we'll be back talking about this again next week because it goes all the way till about the end of July. No, just loving what this soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, is doing for the United States right now. Next
Absolutely.
topic, moving on to the U.S. Open. Had a great U.S. Open. Clark went from start to finish, won it all. What do you get? What did you think about that?
Yeah, kudos to Wyndham Clark. Everybody's so high on Rory and Scheffler, and I get that. They're probably the 2 best all-around golfers in the world. But Wyndham Clark now has won 2 U.S. Opens in 4 years. 2 in 4 years. That is saying a lot. He's only 32. He hung on, as you said, got out to a big lead and barely hung on Sunday, but he hung on. He won by 1 stroke, but he hung on. He didn't choke. Kudos to him. I'm anxious to see in the next major how he does because now he's really put himself on the map.
Yep.
And, he's right up there now with the others officially after having 2 majors in 4 years for sure.
Yeah, it's always That's always the next step because when you're the hunter, you have all this motivation. You want to beat the guy
Yeah,
who's at the top. And it's so easy to get up in the morning and put in those extra work hours because you're the hunter. Well, he's now getting to the point where he's the hunted, where people are going to be
right.
shooting for him. Like you said, how's he going to play in the next major? How is he going to play for the next year now that he's establishing himself as one of the best golfers in the world? That's yet to be seen. Next topic,
Yeah.
NCAA College World Series. Ben, what do you got for us? What do you know about the NCAA College World
Yeah,
Series?
it was an interesting world. It was an interesting World Series. You know, for those of you who don't follow it much, it's the best 2 out of 3 when you get to the final World Series round. North Carolina, UNC Tar Heels were ranked number 5 in the country. They were the favorite. Oklahoma Sooners were not ranked at all. It went to game 3, final game, and Oklahoma they just put that ass whipping down, man. 13-2. They beat the Heels 13-2, won it all. Clearly the best team. Kudos to the Sooners. They won it all for you baseball fans out there. Congrats to Oklahoma.
Yeah, congrats to Oklahoma right there. It's tough to do things like that. Like you said, like they were the severe underdog, and not only did they win, but they won in convincing fashion. So shout out to them. Like we told you, we had another great episode. We flew through some topics right now. Hopefully, you guys are liking this new format. I love it, where we cover more things and can keep your attention a little bit longer. But again, we thank you so much for supporting us. Ben, what do you got to close us out?
I just want to say thank you all for supporting Take Debate. I do want to add, Marcus, one other thing about the draft. Kudos to the San Antonio Spurs. They didn't have a lottery pick, but they still got Jaden Quintus and Terrace Reed Jr. in the first round. So kudos to them. And my boy Henry Vassar from UNC and Isaiah Evans were not first rounders. Shocked at that as well. So I wanted to add that to it. On that note, thank you all for tuning in. And always remember, we want to hear from you.
We're out.
Take the bait. Take the bait. Take the bait. Take the bait. Take the bait.
Get off your phone and get in the zone. Put down the sticks, leave the studio alone. I got my squad with me and we ready. If you got your squad with you, get ready. Take the bait. Take the bait. Take the bait. Take the bait.